Hi Leo, welcome to your monthly tarot reading with me, Raphael Ray from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for joining me. So, without further ado, let's go straight into it. I would like to call into both of these decks that I'm about to use all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good, as always. So let's see what the month of April has in store for you. If you haven't seen it yet, don't forget to check out your Mercury retrograde in Aries. It's a special video that I did for all signs, so there's one up there for everybody. So your actions and your interactions this month. You have the Justice card. So your actions and your interactions in the with the world at large. That's the Mercury retrograde there. Stuttering and stumbling over the words and struggling to communicate. Okay, so excuse me. You have the Justice card, and this talks very much about the fairness of life. It talks about the equality, but it also talks about choice. When you see the Justice card, yes, it's all legal matters. Yes, it's you know, the paperwork, the contract, the signing on the dotted line, the doing things the correct way, by the book, in the legal way, in the fair way for all people involved. But it also represents choice. So because it's got links to Libra, so your actions and your interactions this month are very much going to be about what you choose to have in your life. What you choose to stand for in your life is going to be a big theme this month. And this kind of gives you it puts you in a position of power in the sense that it gives you the ability to choose. It gives you the ability to really choose how to interact with people, but more importantly, who. And this month you're going to be really discerning about who it is that switches you on, who it is that switches you off, what it is about those people that switches you on and switches you off. You know, this is because Leo's basically a big hat. So very intuitive, very psychic, you know, got that, you know, you have the gift because cats are very intuitive, very, very much so. And the Justice card talks about what is fair. It talks about what is right. It talks about what is, you know, and those are really loaded words. And when I see this card, I always say to people, this is about what the universe deems to be fair. And in any situation, you know, sometimes we might say, oh, well, you know, they got this and I never got that and blah, 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 and it's not fair. Sometimes what the universe deems as fair doesn't necessarily tally up with what we here on the ground, us mortals, believe to be fair. But it usually, when you see the Justice card, it's a fair outcome for all people involved. Now, last month, let's be honest, was a really intense month. From around the 23rd, you know, when Mercury finally went retrograde for real, up until sort of like the 2nd of April, things were really, really intense, right? And will continue to be so. The Justice card showing up means that some of the stuff that you've experienced and some of the experiences that you've gone through within that period, or the things that you had to see, or the things that you've been subjected to, will have a satisfactory conclusion, and they will be fair. The outcome that comes from it will be fair. And when I say it will be fair for all people involved. Now, because you've got the Justice card there, it also talks about you having a choice. It also, and when I say having a choice, it means you can choose how to respond to the situations that you've had to endure. You can choose how to respond to the people that switch you on. You can choose how to respond to the people that switch you off. What you also get to choose is to, you know, you're going to have your moment where you can say, actually, how you have behaved towards me, how you have treated me, how you have made me appear is not right. And you will have your moment to speak. So Leo, until you have that moment, just bide your time and bite your tongue. Your moment to speak will not only come, but it will allow you to shine and to excel. And you will actually impress a lot of people, especially people in, especially people in authority, because the way that you deliver the message that you have, you know, to speak up and finally defend yourself and make a stand and, you know, a viewpoint, will be done with such eloquence and yeah, let's just say eloquence, that it's going to be greatly received and it will impress the right people. Excuse me. So your actions and your interactions this month is about what and who you choose to have in your life, and finally having your moment to speak up and demonstrate just who you are, but just how little of everybody's fool you truly are. Okay, awesome. So your money and your materials, you've got the Two of Pentacles. So this is a month for you to be thrifty. This is a month for you to really get grounded and practice. And I actually think you had this card last month. So really interesting that it's popped up again under a Mercury retrograde. Then you've got the Mobius veil on this card, which talks very much about things coming full circle. It talks very much about eternity and the ability to tap into abundance. And then your money and your material sector, this talks about getting a hold of your finances, truly getting a hold of your finances, making grounded practical decisions, on terra firma. You know, what is your budget? What do you want? How are you going to get there? How are you going to save for it? What do your savings look like? Do they match what you need? And more importantly, is what you're saving for going to deliver the results that you expect and need from it? These are all things to ask yourself under a Mercury retrograde anyway. But in your money and your material sector, this is what you're being asked. Get thrifty. Find the best deal. Now is the time not to make the purchases. This is not a month for big purchases. This is the month for you to do the research so that you get the best deal when you are ready to make that purchase. This is the time for you to do the research and the groundwork of understanding, right, okay, so that's what I want and that's what I expect it to do. What are the reviews on that item, that situation, that thing, that place, that destination? Whatever it is that you're doing, you are getting a clear and grounded practical sense of just what it's going to deliver. I, for one, personally, when I'm buying an item online, the two things that I always do is read the reviews, and the types of reviews that I read, I always go straight to the 1 stars. I want to see what the most common problems are. I want to see what the thing that most people have experienced going wrong with this item that I'm buying. And then I'll go to the 5 stars and say, right, if I get this and it's at the best of its, it's at the peak of its ability of whatever it is, it says that it does on the tin, that's what it should deliver me. This is what it won't deliver me if I've got a dodgy product, if I got the bum one, if I, you know, whatever it is. Read the 1 stars and read the 5 stars. And then you can make your mind up somewhere in between of what it is that you're supposed to be getting. In terms of your health, this is the month to start your workout regime. This is the month for you to, and you know, get creative about it as well, because the 2 is about partnership. So if you have to, rope someone in, get the partner involved, get a sibling involved, get a friend involved. Say, right, you know what, I want to work out, I want to get fit, I want to do this, I want to join up something that's active, but I'm not going to do it on my own, because the number 2 is about partnership. Rope somebody in, because it's going to give you that much more motivation to succeed. Okay, so these 2 together. So interesting, because the Justice card is 11, that's the balance, and then you've got the 2 here of Pentacles, which is, again, you know, it's a balance. It's about making that grounded practical decision. This is you having your moment to speak up. And then, excuse me, in terms of your monetary and your materials, this is you really getting to grips with it and starting to look at the nitty gritty, that, you know, reading the fine print on a big purchase. You know, if you're looking to buy a car on finance or anything like that, this is you really getting to grips with, right, okay, if I do this and I commit to it, what am I actually signing? What am I going to really be committing to when I put my, you know, my signature on that dotted line? Okay, so your communications. Okay, you've got the King of Wands, beautiful. So the King of Wands as a person would be a fire sign male, a Sagittarius, a Leo, or an Aries, or somebody that demonstrates or has a lot of that in their chart, it could be, Or it could also be somebody that is feisty, vibrant, dynamic, somebody that is fun to be around, somebody that has got a lot of energy. This person can also, the thing about the King of Wands is he can also be a bit of a big kid. So maybe not necessarily always the right person if you want the severity, or you know, you want someone to give you some really, really solid advice. You can trust this person, absolutely, but under a Mercury retrograde, I wouldn't take their word for it by 100%. I would get a second opinion, just because they might not, you know, they might not know that actually their knowledge is outdated. They might not know that their knowledge doesn't stretch as far as they believe it does. However, for your, you know, for working out, for finding somebody that's going to push you to your limits and say, yeah, right, come on, fatty, get off the sofa. You know, I'm joking. Don't mean to insult anybody out there. I laugh and I say this because me and my partner, we're quite harsh with each other. You know, we will say things like that, like, come on, let's do some exercise, or, you know, both of us are on this health kick at the moment, which is interesting because I'm a Leo rising and he's a Leo sun sign. So, you know, there's that, and then we've got compatible moon signs as well. It's all very... Anyway, back to this. So your communications this month are supposed to be dynamic. They're supposed to be fun. Communication this month is supposed to be light-hearted. If you try to get too serious, especially early on in the month, I kind of feel like that's where you'll come up against it. If you try to make communication way too serious and way too in-depth this month, especially because of the retrograde. And even though it will go direct on the 15th, it will still have its shadow period. So it's really, really important that you try not to go too deep. Keep it vibrant, keep it fun, keep it exciting, but more importantly, keep it honest. That's the one thing that you can say about the fire signs. There's no hidden pretense. What you see is what you get, and it's very much like that with fire. So keep your communication open and keep it honest, and you will have a great month. And not only that, you will have, you know, you'll have banter, you know, and banter's so important in everything, you know. Anyway, okay, so then finally you've got your heart and your hearth. So this is your relationships, your emotional ties, family, friends. Okay, right. Interesting, really, really interesting. There's two things that I want to say here. So the first one is your money and your materials and your communications. Like I said, anybody that gives you any financial advice, get a second opinion, because it might be that this person isn't misleading you on purpose. They just don't have the knowledge to help you in a specific arena or area of life. Now, this is not a great card. In fact, it's one of the shit ones, one of the really shit ones. The Seven of Swords represents lies. It represents deceit. It also represents, because the sevens are about endurance. And this is going to be very, the way that I'm feeling it is you're going to find something out. And this is going to stretch quite far back in your past. And you are going to, the only way that I can say this, and there aren't really, apart from this conjunction and possibly the Mobius veil here, you are going to see or hear or have somebody tell you of how somebody basically did you a wrong behind your back. You are a hidden enemy, a hidden, yeah, that's the only way that I can say it. A hidden enemy is about to be revealed, and they don't even know that they're about to be outed. So all I can say to you is, yes, this is not going to be an easy, because the first reaction, certainly for me, now that I see this, I'm like, oh, really? That's cool. Don't worry. And you know, that's the first reaction, like, you want to get all in your feelings and stuff about it. Don't get all in your feelings about it. Take the information, take the knowledge, absorb, assimilate, process, and store it. And you know, the reason I say that is because I believe with the Justice card there, you know, this is what kicked off the whole month. You will, that person's going to get their comeuppance, absolutely, and you will find out about it. You will either be present to see it, or you will witness it firsthand in some way, shape or form. Don't worry, you know, I say, oh, like, don't worry about it. Now, in terms of finances and money, it's really, really important that if a partner comes to you, for those of you that are coupled, if a partner comes to you and says, I'm struggling with money, or, you know, or you say to them, is everything all right? And they say, yeah. It may well be, it's not that they're lying to you actively or that they don't trust you. It's more that they want to deal with this alone. They're going to try and deal with it alone. It's going to be up to you to draw it out of them. Not by force, but by gentle coaxing out of mutual love, beneficial respect. Okay? In terms of those of you that are single, especially, you know, if you meet somebody that seems fun and vibrant and all the rest of it, this person is not for the long term. And in fact, you know, judging by this sort of character, this person isn't even for the short term. Anybody that comes, for those of you that are single Leos, anybody that comes into your life that happens to be quite a big character, just be very wary of this person. Because, you know, with this card, this is not a trustworthy person. As I said, in terms of all else, you know, I just kind of feel that some information comes to light about somebody from your past. And when you hear it, the first thing you're going to want to do is react and blow up. But it's really, really important that you choose to act. And your choice of action should be to do nothing. Just wait, because theirs will come. The universe is going to see to that. Don't worry about that. But more importantly, you will find out. You will come to know, and you'll see it. You will absolutely see it. So just hang in there. Your key to the month. The Hermit. The Hermit is about taking an inward journey. It's about taking a quest. It's about, because it's a Virgo card, it's about taking all the crap and letting that go, and taking only what is beneficial, only what is nourishing, only what is nutrients out of everything, and leaving everything behind. But the Hermit is also about trusting your spiritual self. It's about the process of going through a journey. It's about the process of going through a process and trusting that that process is taking you to the best place for your highest good and your highest development. And it absolutely is. And like I said, your biggest challenge, I believe, this month is going to be to sit back and just wait. They'll get theirs. And more importantly, you will continue to flourish and get yours. And that's what's important. That's what you need to focus on. But yeah, you will be learning something this month that it will be a bit of a surprise, and because it stretches quite far back, and that's as much as I can tell you through my intuition. Leo, I wish you an abundance of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance itself. Have an amazing month. Please let me know how this plays out for you guys in the comments. Take care, and I'll see you soon.